Hi, my name is Gina Cunningham. In this short tutorial, I will share with you how I select TheraBands, what I look for when purchasing TheraBands for use in my Yoga Flow with resistance bands practice. There are basically two types of TheraBands, or two sort of ways that you'll probably see them marketed. The type of TheraBand I'm looking for in my practice is just the long, flat TheraBand. There are some TheraBands out there that already have handles on the side, or they're like already sort of like this ropey texture. But I select the kind of the fat, flat, long TheraBands that I then will tie the loops onto the end. I have a tutorial on how to tie your loops in a separate video. There are two ways that they're generally presented. One would be in packages that look like this, and they have red, yellow, green options. So red being medium, yellow a more challenging resistance level, green a more challenging resistance level, and yellow a little bit easier. These come in they're pre-cut to approximately 5 feet in length. The other option that you will come across is a box with a roll of TheraBands inside. The rolls can be anywhere from 6 yards, 25 yards, 50 yards. There's probably an elegant way to calculate that into metric. I just don't know it off the top of my head. But they would come in a long flat roll that you would then cut. If your bands are already pre-cut, you don't have to worry about cutting them. The work is done. But if you do purchase in the pre-cut versions, you would want to get 2 so you can have matching sets. If you are going to cut your own out of your bands, out of the roll, you'll need measuring tape and a really sharp pair of scissors. I like working with the rolls because they give me some more options, especially since I teach this as a class and I need to have lots of TheraBands available for lots of students. So from a volume perspective, it's easier to get a lot of bands out of one roll. So I've measured off 6 feet here with this measuring tape. I'm creating a band for a person who's about 6 feet tall. If you're cutting for yourself, you would just go with your height. So for instance, I'm 5'2". If I were cutting bands for myself, I would cut 2 5'2" lengths out of this resistance band roll. As it stands, I'm going to cut 2 6 feet lengths. The sharper your scissors, just the easier the cut. It's that straightforward. And then you'll need to do that twice so that you'll have 2 bands that you will then create stirrup loops into the ends. And then those will be the bands that you wear when you're practicing your Yoga Flow practice, wearing the bands. If you are a shorter person like me, I'm 5'2", so this length of band is pretty good because it already comes cut to 5 feet. This is appropriate, I think, for anyone like 4'4", 4'3" and shorter. You'll have lots of options where you can decide to work. I mostly work with the reds, but you could decide to up the resistance with working with the greens, or lower the resistance working with the yellows. You have a lot of options working with these two packages. But if you're taller than that, I recommend getting the roll of the bands, cutting to your height, cutting 2 lengths. Once you have your bands ready to be tied, you'll watch the next video, which will provide information about how you tie the stirrups onto the ends of the bands.